We're live.
Should be an issue. Some
We're
representative
live.
issue.
We're
I
live.
don't know about that.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We have an amazing guest coming up. Her name is, well, she's actually was here just a couple of weeks ago. And you guys loved her and she loved us. I hope you remember who it is, but we're going to talk about it back in a moment.
What was the topic? Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Struggling for reserve.
Okay. This is February the 8th. Some of our friends have birthdays today. Like Dr. Susan Flowers has a birthday today.
Yes. She had an anniversary this week too.
And an anniversary. Lisa, do you know if they allow loud laughing in Hawaii?
I don't know.
Or they might just only allow aloha.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Aloha, get it? Aloha, get it? Anyway, this is Black History Month, and so much of Black history has been hidden from us, and there's so much of Black history has been watered down, like some of the things that we went through civil rights here in America, but also Black history across the pond and on Africa. A lot of the history that we get has been so watered down and so wrong. But today, oh my goodness, today, we have a person today that's old enough to have lived the first 18 years of her life in apartheid South Africa, a real apartheid. Move that thing off my face, please. Apartheid South Africa. She's going to talk to us about it today. But also, how are you experiencing Black history? What's your experience? Are you taking any time to learn or relearn or educate or share? What's your experience this month with Black history? Good morning, Brother Uzama.
What's good, Uzama? We actually have been doing our level best to bring on guests that are doing something for Black history right now and today. Each and every one of you guys that participate with us, you're often entrepreneurial of sorts. You've learned some things and you're teaching others. And so as such, we get to live out loud Black history, because there was a time that we weren't even recognized for who and what we have. I'm still at awe to the fact that still living today is the first African-American Navy pilot, that she's still alive within this time. And that means that this is recent. This is a recent occurrence.
It happens to be a friend of ours right here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Shouts out to Sister Brenda Robinson.
Shout it out.
The first Black woman Navy pilot. And she still does workshops, and she still preaches and teaches about how young people should get into aviation.
Absolutely.
Because it's still part of her love.
Absolutely. There was a season that Daz was working at the airport.
My son.
And even jobs in aviation in any way are overlooked by people that often look like us.
They are. A shout out to James Penn and Avery and the Huddle Up Men organization. Huddle Up Men is a group of Black men here in Charlotte, North Carolina, that recognize the importance of Black men, strong Black men coming together and being supportive of each other and supportive of the community. The conversation was lively last night.
So you had some men double dip this week.
Yes, and I think that's a part of Black history. What we did last night, which was Wednesday night and Tuesday night, shout out to Male Empowerment Networks, the group that I founded back in August of 2013, that's still been going on. This is Black history that we're doing, these men's circles.
Absolutely.
Uzama, I'm so excited and proud that you chose to bless us with your brilliance in the Male Empowerment Networks meeting.
Absolutely.
But the Huddle Up Network was in person and men was virtual.
Absolutely. And I think that there's room for both.
Mm-hmm.
There's room for both. Because the reason why I say that is because this virtual environment has allowed us to connect with women across borders. Like we had so many different women represented on the call from so many different locations, all beautiful Black women, all doing their thing, all leaders in industry, all supporting one another. It was amazing.
And it is amazing too. When you think about the aggregate brain power and talent in these circles, it is amazing. You could be awestruck by if you just consider the amazing talent of the people that's in your circle right now.
Right. So while it was amazing that we were online, we would miss something if we didn't have the online presence, because some of the ladies are all over the world. Like they couldn't be in Charlotte if we had to be. And now that doesn't take away from the fact that there needs to be local organizations everywhere, which is why we encourage you. We thank you for coming hang out with us Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m., right? But we encourage you to go into a physical fellowship with your like-minded believers, wherever that might be, at least once or twice a week.
Amen to that. You know,
Amen. Uzama said, enjoying the post about Black history in my feeds. Like, why we as a people love butter pecan ice cream. I think butter pecan ice cream was my grandmother's generation, because I don't remember liking it that much.
It was my grandparents' generation and my parents' generation too. However, I think because we do love it, it's funny. Like, why do Black people like butter pecan ice cream? Why do we like cool cigarettes and menthol cigarettes? The answer to that is nobody knows. Okay, but it used to be only the option too: vanilla, chocolate, or butter pecan.
Well, and I don't know the validity of this truth, but there was a rumor. I call it a rumor because I have not verified it in any way, that Black people were not allowed to eat white or vanilla ice cream. That's why we came up with butter pecan, because it still had the flavor of vanilla in it. But then we had to take it up a notch, like we often do,
throw some pecans
and throw some pecans in it.
You know,
pecans.
I like watching history. My wife and I, we talk about that from times. We watched this series a while ago called The History of Foods. The history of foods, like how certain foods came about and their history of them. We like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and pizza. But one that was interesting to me right now is chocolate. Because at one time, chocolate was only reserved for the elite of this country. Only the rich people or the elite could have access, could eat chocolate. Maybe they could only afford it. And then this guy named Hershey,
he said,
I want to make chocolate available to everybody.
Everybody.
So he started inventing ways to make chocolate cheaper so that anybody could get chocolate. And then he started propagating, you need to eat more chocolate.
Absolutely.
And now we got big country.
Well, and there was some truth to the health and mental health benefits of truth in its original format. Dark chocolate has a great physiological value. It helps to make you feel better. But now with milk chocolate and all this sugar in it and everything else, not so much. Not so much. I wonder what's going on with our feed.
I wonder what's going on with our feed too, because it's happened before like this. Where all the guests came in at one time because they weren't having challenges getting in here. I mean, all of our peeps, our tribe. I see our special guest is in the green room right now. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
You'll see her in 7 minutes. Like Lisa mentioned, she's been on here before, not that long ago, and you guys loved her. So who's that? I apologize for being late.
That was Roberta.
Okay, cool. Roberta Ndelila. Okay, that's her name, right?
I'm not gonna fool with you.
You're not gonna fool with me. What's that supposed to mean? Anyway, I want to keep going.
Ndelila.
Golly.
You.
That's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said. I want to talk about some more history.
Just press your tongue up against your teeth for the N and don't say it. Just
I don't have to press my tongue up against my teeth to say a name.
You know if it's her name. You want somebody to call you something else?
No, I don't want nobody to call me something else.
You go extra.
Lisa,
No, you don't.
lower your blood pressure, Lisa.
Chubb Rock,
Can you
don't even
take it
try
down?
it. Don't even try it.
Take your blood pressure down.
Anyway.
Because if you don't lower your blood pressure, then I'm going to get upset, and then we're going to have a real problem. Shout out to Chubb Rock. I was doing Chubb Rock on nephew Tommy's crank calls. Okay,
yes,
that's how Chubb Rock responded.
Hilarious. Because nephew Tommy called him and pranked him real good, but he was going off on him and accusing him of plagiarism and stealing his music and everything. And Chubb Rock never raised his voice, but he put him in check.
That's how G would handle it. But I want to go back into more history because we're creating history daily. And it doesn't take much creativity to see how some of like what this show has been doing since October of 2016. This show's been going on Monday through Friday since October 16. At some point, somebody's going to say this was a marvelous example of consistency.
Absolutely.
This show here that Antonobi just came in on. This right here, at some point may go on to do amazing things different than what we're doing right now. With this show, we may be bigger and better. It might happen this month, next year, 10 years. Who knows? But at some point, we're going to look back on these days.
But you had to start somewhere.
When we had Roberta and Ndelila as our guest. And remember, this is our history.
Just call her Roberta. If you got that.
I don't have a problem saying her name.
You're not.
I am good. I'm a freaking linguist.
You can be. But so let me explain why it matters so much to me. We're gonna bring her up in 5 minutes. But why it matters so much to
4
me,
minutes, we got Roberta.
Absolutely. Is that when you're saying someone's name, it's really important. Even when you're speaking a language, it's really important to speak
try to get it right.
The dialect that and the enunciation that is used.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Now, we make fun of that when other people try that. Like a news reporter, for example. He could be reading the news. There was a kidnapping in Connecticut. Okay. And there was a bombing in Nicaragua.
I don't make fun of that.
Yeah, he tries to do it in a dialect.
Nicaragua.
It's Nicaragua.
No, it's not. If you live in the place, you don't say Nicaragua.
But he don't. He's in Connecticut.
It doesn't matter. You can read and you've learned and you've heard how to enunciate it.
Really?
Trevor Noah specific told you to stop calling a zebra a zebra. You don't even have zebras.
Right.
So if it's a zebra, then you should call it a zebra.
Right. That's the correct way. But so should he do that with everything instead of Nicaragua? Do you say something happened in Shanghai or Hong Kong?
Right.
That would be.
However, it's
that would be racist.
No, it's not. No, that's
good morning, Dr. Deborah.
That is not true. Good morning, Dr.
Hong
Deborah.
Kong. You don't say
Hong
that.
Kong.
Yeah.
You would say it however they say to say it.
You say Hong Kong. That's what you say.
No, what are you, Hong Kong? Nicaragua? I don't want to be Santiago. Don't call me Lisa Santiago. I don't care if you've never taken Spanish in your life.
You want to say what?
Lisa Santiago. And I want you to fix the N and the T right with your tongue.
We got 3 minutes before Roberta comes on here. By the way,
not Santiago.
Yesterday, Shannon Sharp, Unc Shannon, Club Shay Shay interviewed Monique, the stand-up comedian Monique.
Good morning, Jay.
It's 3 hours long plus. And I watched the first 48 minutes of it last night. The first 48 minutes of Shannon's interview. And you are going to love it. I read a bunch of the comments. Everybody loved Monique. Now, she did come out and tell a lot of stuff, especially like around minute 40 to 48. She was calling out names. She kept calling out Oprah and Tyler Perry. And she got proof. She got Tyler Perry on tape. And she's sending that tape everywhere saying he knows he ruined her career. But anyway, besides that, Monique was standing on her own. And in a lot of people's eyes, she redeemed herself in the interview with Shannon Sharp. She came across to me as strong. And I liked the interview, the first 48 minutes I saw. I will watch the whole thing. I'm going to see the whole thing. But in the first 5 hours that interview had aired, it had more than 2 million views. So Shannon she was corralling Shannon. She was making Shannon like, Mo, I can't say that, Mo. I can't say that, Mo. Mo, I can't say that. But the reason why I brought it up just now is you was talking about dialects and all that kind of stuff. He goes, why do you have M-O with an asterisk and then Neek. And she had to explain to him, it seems so basic to me. That's my stage name, Shannon. Off stage is Monique, but on stage is Monique. You know, I put the asterisk on the stage. It's just simple stage name. And she separated the stage life from her real life and stage and all that. So I thought it was fascinating. I think you will like her when you watch it.
I never stopped liking her. I did not like her delivery.
Oh.
I did not like her delivery. I think there's some accounting for how you say something. Not
talking about in her show?
No, not in her show.
Oh.
In her original, the original issue that the world had with Monique. It was not what she said, it was how she said it. And I think that there's some accounting for tact and this diplomacy. I think that there's some accounting for that. But I think we also have the right to be whoever we are. But you also get to receive whatever you receive as a result of being whoever you are.
All right. So now we're about to go back into we're going to meet a wonderfully warm person. But we're going to have a more of a mature conversation because I'm going to ask her some questions, y'all. And I know she can handle it because she's very familiar with being on a podcast. Y'all know her. Y'all love her. Her name is Roberta
Lila.
And Roberta Lila coming to the stage. Roberta Lila. Woo, woo, woo. Good morning.
Just put that tongue in there.
Would you
right?
stop?
Hello, Lisa. Hello, Brian. Thank you for that
Can you turn up your
wonderful
volume
pronunciation of my last
maybe it's
name.
me. Hold on. 1 second.
Yes,
Yeah,
you.
it's
Turn
me.
up the volume. Okay, cool.
All right.
Good morning, Roberta.
Good morning, Lisa. Morning, Brian.
You're
Thank
much
you
better
for
now.
for that back and forth banter over my last name. It's so fun to watch.
Well, you look great. Your smile is wonderful today. We're so
Fantastic.
excited to have you back on our show today.
I'm so happy to be here again. As I said last time, wherever Lisa goes, I follow because you guys are so much fun.
Come on, let's go.
So please introduce yourself however you like, please.
No problem. My name is Roberta, a South African who had a 15-year corporate career in my country, decade teaching in South Korea, came here at the beginning of the pandemic, and now hosts the Speaking and Communicating podcast, which yesterday released an episode with my conversation with Brian K.
Yesterday?
McNeill,
Whoop.
where he says, no like and trust is killing your business.
Mm-hmm.
And you will hear so many different ideas on how you can sell without all the tips and strategies that haven't worked for you in the past. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Yes, we did that podcast. We recorded that podcast a couple of weeks ago, and Roberta is awesome, y'all, at hosting a podcast.
Roberta, how does someone listening to the podcast? What is the easiest way for them to connect to the podcast?
Should I put it on the chat?
Put it in the private chat and I'll put it on the screen. Absolutely. We want to do a better job of making sure that we are telling people where people are and where we are, because we are about to be everywhere. Just hold on for a minute. I'm trying to hold my mule. I'm trying to hold my mule.
So she's putting that in the chat. Yeah, because we want our peeps to see it, and I want to see it too, because I want to see how we came across together. Okay, cool. And she's going to put the links in too. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Roberta, we titled today's show
South African History, Apartheid Unveiled.
Now, a lot of us have no clue what that means.
Right.
Okay. Or only surface level understandings of what apartheid was. We heard what Trevor Noah said about it because he lived during that time too.
Yeah.
How it was illegal for his mother to be his mother and his father to be his mother. He tells the jokes about it, but he makes it real to me. But I would love to ask you, because I believe you said the last time you spent the first 18 years of your life in that system.
Yes.
Please, if you would, explain what it is, apartheid, what it is, and then what was it like living in it?
Right.
Okay. Thank you for that. So let's go back 1652. You had the Portuguese and the Dutch coming from India. And for some reason, instead of going at the top to go back to Europe, they went Indian Ocean at the bottom and they were going to come up the Atlantic. So they stopped in Cape Town and it was a refreshment station. They were taking a break, like a pit stop. And they thought, oh my goodness, this is the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. And they stayed.
Oh, wow.
Who they found were the original people called the Khoisan, Khoisan, not us yet. And fast forward so that I get to the point.
Already, I didn't know any of that. That's amazing. Thank you. But please keep going. Already.
Yes. So the original people were the Khoisan, who were in that part of the African continent. We migrated, I believe, just south of the, yeah, just more south, but not in what you know as South Africa today. So we
Okay.
were just a little above north of that, and with all the wars and everything, so we migrated south. Therefore, when they came, they've been there literally since 1652. Even in history class, we were told that. Fast forward to 1948, but before that, you had the English. So these are the Dutch.
Okay.
You have the English, it's called the Anglo-Boer War, the English and the Dutch fighting over who's going to control South Africa.
And there's South Africans living there. But go ahead.
We are 87% of the population. They make up 8% of the population, but they are fighting over who's going to control us. Isn't that funny?
That
That
is not
math
funny.
thing.
It's not funny, ha ha. It's funny, ironic,
It
but not
is.
funny, ha ha. Yes.
Right? So 1948, the Dutch, which we call the Boers or the Afrikaners. Have you heard of the language Afrikaans?
Yes, I have. Yes.
That's the Dutch taking their language and creating a new kind of language for South Africa.
Okay.
So 1948, they instituted apartheid as a law of the country, of how the country was going to run. In South Africa, you have four races from the apartheid system. You
Okay.
have whites,
Fascinating.
you have Indians. I know some of you may love Gandhi and you've been told he's a saint. However, he negotiated a deal sort of with the apartheid government at our expense. He called us barbarians, we are monkeys,
Wow.
we are uncivilized, and his Indian people should be treated better than us. So if they have a better station than us, that means they're going to be treated better. And as I say, some people look at it as he was negotiating on behalf of his people. What do you expect him to do? So that's a separate.
I don't.
I
I
don't
appreciate
at
what
all.
you said just now. He wanted to establish law where his people are treated better than another.
Better than another. So they are
Racism
second tier
defined.
to white people
That's
in
racism
apartheid.
defined.
Because
Go
he
ahead.
negotiated for them, but whenever you negotiate, there's something you're gonna give up. So you're fighting for everybody's rights. Not the black monkeys, not the natives. I'm talking about my people from India. So that's what
Jesus.
happened essentially. And then third, this is gonna trigger because especially there are black people in the house. We have colored people. Colored in America means something different from colored in South Africa.
Yes.
And there was this lady, she recently won a Grammy. Her name is Tyler. She's a colored South African. She's not a black South African.
What's the difference?
The difference is so when the Dutch came to the refreshment station, first of all, the Khoisan, I've put the name on the chat.
Yeah.
They
let me
are
see if
part
I
of the
can-
colored culture or race. What happened also was the Dutch raped our ancestors.
Yes.
And they created these mixed looking kids.
These light skinned looking kids. Yes.
These mixed kids, yeah, they're different range. You know how Alicia Keys looks different from Mariah Carey, from
Right.
Shema Moore, mixed looking kids. And so when apartheid was formalized in 1948, the apartheid government decided mixed people are their own race. They're going to reproduce with mixed people. So that's the colored race.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Then the fourth race
did
at
not
the
know
bottom of
that
the ladder
either.
is us, black people. So if you say you colored during apartheid, you had more privileges than me, a black person. And I know it's a derogatory term for black people in
Right. In
America.
America. Right.
Different one. So speaking of Tyler, who just won a Grammy, there was a huge firestorm on TikTok when she said, "I'm a colored South African," and black people in America went, "That is a derogatory term for the 60s when black people were oppressed." We said, "Yes,
They didn't
in
understand.
America."
In America.
Different in South Africa.
Now, I want
And
to ask a question here because you're
Okay.
wonderful here, and I'm so proud that you're equipped to answer these questions. The coloreds and the different the four categories. Was it just implied privileges and treated better, or were there laws that said coloreds can have this and those can have that,
Yeah.
Afrikaans can have this and they can't have that?
Laws. Everything was not only the law different for each race. Each race lived in, it's called the Group Areas Act, for instance. Each race lived in a different suburb. Okay, no, no. Only white people lived in suburbs. And then you had Indian cities. And then you had colored cities. And then you had the Black Hood, what they call
That's
the
it. That's
township.
all it was, right?
And
Wow.
everything is categorized according to four levels, meaning white schools, for instance, best facilities, everything, right? Which means they got pools, they got gyms, they got everything, labs, libraries, everything. And then you go to Indian ones, they have most of that, but not all of it. And then you go to colored ones, a little bit less. And then you go to black ones, we have no facilities, we have no library, we have no
Wow.
science lab. I used to memorize my chemistry formulas. We didn't put sulfur. When I went to an Indian high school when apartheid ended, I was like, hey, for the first time, I'm holding a test tube and we're making sulfur dioxide or whatever it is. We didn't, black schools didn't have that. They
Wow.
gave us
And it
the
was
most.
law that they couldn't. Okay.
No, what happens is, remember, then the budget is divided into four,
Okay.
the fiscal budget, right? So let's say the federal government does that here, which means in the hood, the schools are not going to have enough.
They don't.
I've
It's-
heard that. I've heard that here in America. The schools don't have enough
Yeah.
facilities and libraries and everything and labs and everything for the whereas if you go to the suburbs,
Yeah.
everything is there. The swimming pools, all of it. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
apartheid, everything was diced into four different levels in every way.
Oh wow.
And then there was a curfew for black people. If you are in the so black people are working in suburbs as maids and garden boys, if you're a man. If you are there and you finish work at 5 working for this white family, usually almost every house back home in the suburbs has what is called the seventh quarters, a small bathroom and bedroom for the lady who works here. So when she finishes, she just goes around the corner part of the house. And then if you go home, especially if you do the garden, you need to walk about 2 to 3 kilometers, which you guys call miles, um, to get to the mass transportation system to take you back to the hood, the township. If you are there by 6 o'clock, you will be arrested. And when you get arrested,
If you are not there by 6, you saying?
if you are still within the white
Still
suburb by 6, the
Uh-huh.
curfew, you will get arrested by the police. Because you need to be back in the township. You need to be out of the white suburbs by 6. And then, speaking of that, the white males could go to the army to be soldiers. So 18, only the white ones could hold guns, could do. We still don't have guns, most of us black people back home. So the fact that at 18 they are taught to control the country. This is a personal incident. My grandpa, my mom's dad, my mom's dad, he had a small supermarket in our neighborhood. One time, so the van, the open back, the van, he's got all the stock and everything is piled up from the warehouse so that
Uh-huh.
he can stock up the supermarket. These two white boys, 18-year-olds, stopped him. And they said, here's the thing. And he had driven, remember also from downtown, the hood is very far away from everything. So when you travel to work every morning, it takes you about an hour. So my grandpa, they stop him. And when my late grandpa, when he told this incident when he was alive, he used to say, imagine being such an old man and you have 18-year-olds. Your life is at the palm of their hands.
Wow.
One voice says, you need to drive back and measure if the height measurements are met with this warehouse stock thing you got going here at the back of your van.
Oh my God.
And then the other one calls him to the side. He had a bit of conscience and he says, but dude, that's like a 45-minute to an hour drive. Can't we just give him a fine or something? No. You need to go back. You need to go back. You see, this is very high. This is because they had this Afrikaans accent. It is very high. He needs to go back and measure it downtown. They debated over and over again. And by the grace of God, the one with the conscience, he must have won the argument because they said, just this one time, we're going to let you go. But that was the situation with literally daily living. If
Yeah,
you
that's a good
try
example,
anything and you interact with them, God be upon you.
Mm.
And then if you guys know the 1976 Soweto,
Right.
yes,
Mhm. With the
that's where I
students,
was
right?
born. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
The students, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
The reason they were rioting, they had decided, remember we learned I'm Zulu. So first language I speak is Zulu, and English you start learning when you go to school, first grade, because all your subjects are going to be in English, which is fine. And they decided in 1976 that now everything's going to be learned in Afrikaans in black schools only, just to make education and school difficult for us.
Wow.
So imagine I'm learning my math and my science and my biology in English, and suddenly it's all in Afrikaans. I don't call it math, it's wiskunde. How are you gonna? So now I must learn new words for algebra and geometry. How is that gonna work? So I think they probably wanted us to quit school and just work for them the entire time. So those kids protested making Afrikaans the language of instruction in black schools. In 1976, the apartheid police, as usual, they were all sent to and they used to come with army tankers to the township, and they just started shooting. They killed over 1,000 black students in Soweto in 1976. However, their sacrifice was the reason that school remained English for us. But we were still forced to learn Afrikaans as a subject. Now, here's the caveat. So the apartheid government thought, okay, they didn't win this fight. However, you can get straight A's on everything. If you fail Afrikaans, you repeat the grade. And that's the most difficult subject.
This is amazing. I want to kind of bring you forward a little bit because we could talk to you all day, but I want to be respectful of your time and our time too. But I guess you lived through that the first 18 years of your life, and you also taught English in where was it? Asia somewhere, right?
Yes, South Korea.
Mm-hmm. South Korea. Okay. And now you're here in America. You're obviously wonderfully well adjusted. You're super friendly to everybody. I want, if you can find a way to your growing up experience, how did that prepare you for the rest of your life? Or what do you remember? Or what do you still carry with you from that experience of living apartheid?
I think the first thing I noticed living around the world was the black experience is the same, no matter where you go in the world.
Really?
Yes. At different levels, but it's the same. Because even in Korea, over the span of 10 years, I lost 2 jobs in the private public school, and you work well with your colleagues, they can keep you there for a decade. The private ones, because the moms pay a lot of money per month, they have a certain look of a teacher that they want when they feel like they got their money's worth. She must be blonde and blue-eyed. So I've had 2 institutions in the span of 10 years that had to let me go because the moms didn't like me. And the kids, when they come and put the shoes on their kids and they pick up their kids from school, Roberta, teacher, bye-bye. And because kids love me. Some of them, they come and they hug me by my legs and everything. They've heard there's a Roberta teacher and the kid gets excited and they love me. But when they first realize, wait, that the Roberta teacher looks like that, they start complaining to my boss about, for no reason, about things that make even no sense. However, Korean bosses, for the sake of business, and I understand, they have to keep whoever makes their client happy. So the black experience is the same globally in different levels, but it's the same.
Wow. That's amazing.
We got so many comments. You know what, I dare say that many of our guests are just sitting back and digesting this because it's almost like you don't know what to ask. We keep waiting for you to just go on, just go on. What else?
Which is,
yeah, you don't know what to ask. Particularly for me, I typically, and this is a personal thing, I typically stay away from Black history and history.
But not me.
No, not him. Because I'm very, very sensitive, and it can stick me to a place that this knowledge equips, it illuminates a fire in me that I then have to redirect. So that means whatever I'm working on, I have to stop and I have to go fight this battle. So that's why I have to maintain sort of a healthy distance. I appreciate you giving us some illumination and some information, and I'm still as well and articulate as you have been and shared these stories from you've given us enough insight and information, but you have kept it kind of not as heavy as I usually feel when I hear it, but it's still heavy. I'm still feeling it very heavy.
I want you to stay. I want to catch up all the comments because I want you to comment on the comments. Okay?
Yes. Craig says, "Good morning, everyone. Have a great day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest." Hey, Craig. Now, Terry says, "I wonder about the U.S. and I am sure Black South Africans wonder the same. I wonder how great the U.S. could have been had it let go of its institutionalized racism and harnessed the talents of all its people."
Amen. We're going to address that going on.
There was another comment up here earlier that I wanted to catch. Terry says, "Wow, so South African coloreds are kind of like the Southern Creoles. This is fascinating in a bad way." I'm not sure you're familiar with the Southern Creoles, but we get the what is the 1/8 rule?
Yeah, but I still think it's different because she said the coloreds in South Africa, they were back like they're basically their own race. They wanted the colors to say the coloreds.
So were the Creoles.
All right, but let's catch up all the comments, please.
We have conversations on this show, and they're not dictated or predicated on what
I'm
you
looking at the clock.
About. I love that.
Start arguing
we're
with me.
Gonna do this.
Antonobi says,
"So true. Education is different. My grandfather, Antonobi, dad Jacob Cockfield, who was I want to say Ghana African man, went to Britain to become a doctor, preacher, and spoke 7 different languages. Then sent my grandmother Sister Aunt Tinola off to New York to become a doctor. Education is different. Yes. Absolutely." Dr. Deborah says, "This is so good. Does she give lectures?" Well, we need to have her giving
a lecture. Start.
Amen. Terry says, "Thank you, Miss Roberta, for blessing us with this knowledge." Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Everyone that contributes to the show matters to us so much. So we wanted to make sure that they all got a chance to be heard and give you a chance to respond if you wanted to respond to anything that you heard, Sister Roberta. But I do appreciate it. I look at history for fun. I think it's fascinating to learn about these things. But you shared so much with me that I didn't know today. So I thank you myself. Okay.
My absolute pleasure. And thank you for those beautiful comments. As you said, Lisa, they were their own race for, from 48 until 1990 when Nelson Mandela was released. Because we also had speaking of Trevor Noah, the Immorality Act, meaning it's immoral to marry someone of another race. Mm-hmm. So that's why it was illegal for his parents to be together and produce him. He is a colored, not by culture, but because of his parental composition, a black mom and a white dad, because that's how the colored race started. But yes, he lived in the township with us as black people, because also because it was illegal. When he came home looking very light-skinned, his mom said he's an albino. So the neighbors won't tell the apartheid police, and she got arrested. Yeah.
The neighbors could have told the police and been arrested.
You could not trust your neighbor back then. They would be the.
Did you see her face? But go ahead, please. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if you've seen the movie Cry Freedom, where Denzel Washington plays Steve Biko, who they killed around the age of 30.
I didn't see it, but I need to.
He died in 1977. When they just storm into your house, because remember, they don't live in the hood with us. How do they know that you have pictures of Nelson Mandela hanging on your wall? Right. Your neighbor
told them.
You could not trust anybody. Everything was just secretive because you did not know when they were going to strike.
I read a book 3 times. I read this book. It was called Kafir Boy by
the N word for us. Yes.
Yes, Kafir Boy by Mark Matabane. I think that's what he called himself. Okay, and he became a tennis player, and that's how he got out of Africa to America with a tennis scholarship. But he talked about how he lived in the townships, and they had this book that they had to keep that had all their records in it, like the ID, which is like
the pass. It was the size of a Bible, and if you are black, you need to carry it with you all the time, so that like those 18-year-old boys who stopped my grandpa, if they say produce it, it's like an ID, but picture ID being the size of a Bible and carrying it all the time. If you don't have it, you're going to jail.
And it was almost impossible to have it right all the time. So
the size of a Bible, I'm not exaggerating.
Mm-hmm. So they look through, this is a violation. So you go throw you jail, and jail was hard work. you know.
Also, if you disappear from jail, do you know what they used to tell your family? Oh, he killed himself. Okay,
Yeah.
where's the body? Where's the body that committed suicide? Nothing. Half the former president Thabo Mbeki, the one after Nelson Mandela, he's still. I think they still, him and his wife still don't know what happened to their son.
Mm. All right, we're gonna have to be respectful to your time. I'm gonna give you a minute and a half, if you a minute to a minute and a half, if you want to leave anything with this loving audience. Thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Brian. Thank you to the audience for listening and for sharing your very kind thoughts. I appreciate that. As I said earlier, the Black experience is the same. I hope we continue to work towards unity no matter where we find ourselves in the world. Because at the end of the day, and these stories need to be told. I'm glad there's Black History Month just focusing on these stories, because there's so many things we get fed by the media where we misunderstand each other, and yet we need to be united because our experience is similar. I can promise you that.
Thank you, my sister.
You can tune into the Speaking and Communicating podcast on Apple and Spotify. If you go directly to theempowermentduo.com, it is the first link in the tree. And we definitely encourage you to tune in.
I'm going to get it myself. Thank you, Roberta. Can you hang out in the green room or do you have to run?
No, I can hang out. I'm happy to hang out. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. That was amazing. I am enthused about that. That was amazing. I learned so much.
Absolutely.
But we was today on our show, we started talking about our daily lives. We are creating Black history right now. We have a connection with a wonderful resource about Black history. Yes.
Wonderful resource of information. And I mean, just her delivery is just so wonderful. I mean, I just enjoyed, I could actually find myself sitting and listening and taking notes and just understanding more and being willing to understand more. Because like Brian says, he's a history buff. He will watch it and consume it. And I'm like, okay, I have had my fill. And
yeah, you was welling up over there, Lisa.
I am. I'm controlling it, but I am. It's very emotional for anybody to be treated a certain way simply because of the color of their skin,
which is our reality, baby.
It's overwhelming to me.
When she talked about the educational system, that's real here. Okay. I once gave a speaking engagement in Rock Hill High School. Rock Hill is not that poor a town, you know, but at the same time, I was volunteering at Reed Park Elementary School. Okay. The facilities at Reed Park Elementary School, where they wear uniforms, by Wednesday, all the kids are dirty because they typically only have one set of uniforms. And going to Rock Hill, that school is opulent, has everything. You could feel money walking through the hallways. Everything is there. So the levels to this stuff, I mean.
And the way that we in the U.S. try to disguise, for those that are at least prudent enough to try to hide it. They try to hide things through the classification of zip codes, area codes, and taxes.
Which means?
So they're saying that because this is there's more money in this area, people paying more taxes in this area, we have access to these different things. But what that ultimately says is the white people who are here with their white money are able to provide more to these children that are here than in the hoods or in the more urban areas, because by comparison, the funding is not there.
Which you said it correctly. It's hiding it.
It's hiding
federal funding.
Right. It's hiding it.
They can put the money in any zip code they want
Absolutely.
to.
And
there's not people that live there.
There should be now. I know that this probably lends itself to socialism as far as the people say, right? But I think that if you have it and it's a country, that it needs to be given to where it's needed as a country.
Yeah.
But that's just
all right. We're going to do what we do now. It's 9:43. Thank you for your time, energy, and attention today.
I'm going to try to pull myself together.
Pull yourself together. I almost want to dare say we need Roberta at another time. Mm-hmm. We might want to have her come back again.
Well, I am going to talk to her about hosting a lecture that we can broadcast, because there's so much information that people want to receive from this type of a perspective, from this type of a delivery, that it's just going to be amazingly attended. So we're going to talk later. Roberta, we're going to talk, baby.
Terry says, because public K through 12 is financed in large part by local property taxes, until we change how public education is financed, it will never be equal. We're going to go through and thank our guests the way we do here. We do it with greeting songs and with greeting logos. We're going to start from the top today. Up first today, and if you don't know what this is, just bear with us and you'll get it. But this show is run by comments. So when people contribute, and especially if they're regular contributors, they get greeting songs and greeting logos. Like Uzama Ra, he's a regular contributor. He's got a greeting song, and it goes,
Bitcoin King, he's a Bitcoin King.
Uzama.
Bitcoin King, he's a Bitcoin King.
Uzama, that's his greeting song. Some people have greeting logos, like Antonobi. It goes, thank you, Watanabe.
In Brian's Nigerian.
That's right. But Dr. Deborah does this. She also has a song. And it goes,
Dr. Deborah, trauma healing and manifestation coach.
Terry Robinson, you deserve a jam.
She has a jam.
What's her jam?
I'm Terry Robinson,
and I achieve anything you want done, baby. Should do it naturally. That's right, Terry. You just got it.
Yeah, we've had it for a couple of
a week
now. I've sang it several times. I love that song.
We probably got how many songs you think we got in our head?
Enough.
Okay, in the last 8 years, Lisa, we've been doing songs for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Terry Robinson.
Amen.
And I achieve.
So Terry says that she's here for the greeting songs. They make my day.
Really?
So there's an issue today. There's an issue today with the access. I don't know if the algorithms changed and some of you guys didn't see the notifications, but we usually have more of you on than we see right now. So I'm going to
Jay Maddie was watching, but he didn't say nothing.
That we see, right. So we're going to sing
Jay Maddie, and that's it. No,
that's not it. Craig Sabb came on and said something. Understand, you're not the producer. I try to be patient with you because I am a wife. But as a wife and a helpmeet, I am also the producer of this show.
You are that, but you also are the wife, and I'm the husband.
Right. Okay. So what does that mean?
That means I'm the husband.
So does that mean that that can't be the same?
Oh my gosh.
That can't be the same. That can't be true.
Just
two things. I already told you, Craig Sabb.
Go.
Craig Sabb, 1,000 degrees, and you'll be on your knees,
and you'll be burning begging, please. Brother Freeze, you be
to jump into that song.
Live on
I'm
the
not
show,
arguing with you live on the show.
I don't want you to.
I am not arguing with you live on the show. I don't want you to do that.
Okay. Jay Maddie has a song too.
Yes, he does.
And it goes, get ready, get ready.
Oh,
get ready. Get ready, cause here Jay comes. Get ready, cause here Jay comes. Get ready, cause here Jay comes. All right,
I'm so glad you're here.
It's 9:47. We did good. Lisa's right, because we normally have more people to greet on this show. We have regulars, and we're so blessed to have regulars.
Absolutely, absolutely. Terry says, "Thank you, Lisa. You always remind Brian." That's what I'm saying. I know the song. I know we've sang it for a couple of weeks now.
But we probably got 60, 70,
maybe 70.
Maybe 70 different greeting songs in our head. Because some people come sporadically, but they still got a song. I can't
hold it if it's sporadic. I can't.
But you could jog our memories and it'll come back. It's really amazing that we have this many. We don't have no scripts here. No
scripts, no crawler, no teleprompter. It's all in the head, in the brain.
So we want to get them right.
In the membrane.
Like I know Dr. Deborah's song real good, but it could even escape me.
I've gotten hooked on that. I'm like skit, like what? Because remember we changed her song a little bit once.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm like, what are we talking about? But there is some magic to your songs also. Understand that your songs help people to recognize you. I was having a conversation the other day where an individual was looking for referrals. What do you need?
I was thinking, did we see Dr. Beverly?
No.
Okay.
She was looking for referrals in a particular area. And I said, you already know that person. And she says, I don't know that person. And I sang that song and she said, yes, I know that person. And they were able to make the connection, and she's going to be contacting you. So she's connecting with a couple of people actually, and both of which she learned, it was reintroduced to her that she had already connected with them because their song is one of her wake up songs.
The songs also make people have a degree of celebrity.
You are
like one of our friends stayed with us, visited with us for a little while in our home here.
Absolutely.
And my daughter, my grown daughter, my firstborn came down.
She came to visit. And I told her I had a friend spending the weekend with us. I said I have a friend. It was William Brown. She goes, good morning to our friend Bill. You didn't tell me, Dad. You told me you had a friend over. You didn't tell me it was Bill. Right. You didn't say it was Bill.
The one with a song. So
Yes,
that made her so excited because he had a song.
That's right.
And he was like overwhelmed with her enthusiasm.
Absolutely. I think we should all have a theme song. I think we should all have theme music. I think that it plays in my head anyway.
You have a theme song or theme music?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine?
I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
What do you think?
Nah. Go.
This girl
I knew it.
is on fire. This girl is on fire.
And I think mine is because I play it every day. And you could tell everybody. Go on and tell everybody. I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I actually enter the grocery store with that song playing in my head, and I walk in like this. I'm here.
All right, it's 9:50. It's time for us to get out of here. Thank you again to our special guest, Roberta. Hang tight, Roberta. Please don't leave yet because we want to talk with you for a minute or two more. But thank you, Terry. Thank you, Dr. Deborah. Thank you to every one of you that chose to show up and hang out with us today.
Absolutely. Dr. Deborah said, I want to purchase a recording of my song to use on my recording for her show. It makes sense. It makes sense. Terry says, in college softball, the players have walkout songs when they get up to bat. Everybody should have a walkout song.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you don't have one yet, help us to get one.
Shout out to the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, with that classic line. Every superhero needs their own theme music.
That's right.
Every superhero needs a theme music, right? So because they had a band walking behind him. Every superhero needs their theme music.
That's right. And
but thank you guys.
We appreciate you hanging out with us. We look forward to seeing you on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Shout It Out Friday, and we have another Black History amazing guest, the author. Craig, that's right. You got to have a theme song. I was going to say we sang your song. Do you remember Donald Morton?
Donald Morton,
yes.
Of the Reman Project.
The Reman Project. Yes. He is going to be our guest.
I'm getting my fill of men this week. Did we do Craig's song today?
Yes, Craig said
1,000 degrees, you'll be on your knees and you'll be burning, begging, please.
That's how it was supposed to go before.
I don't think we did it.
Yes, we did, but you were being truculent and defiant. And then you feel it.
Right there?
And then you feel it.
Back when I said I don't think we did it, and the words you said after that, that's the part we didn't need at all. Okay.
We love you. We look forward to seeing you mañana. Bring somebody with you and check out the podcast. Just go to theempowermentduo.com and click the first link in there, whether you got Apple or Spotify. You can tune in, and Brian's on one of the episodes as well.
I can't wait to see it.
Don't forget to have sex.